Sarin, let's spend a moment on logistics and the supply chain. I was reading a McKinsey DHL study which said it will take 20,000 flights globally to get the vaccine boxes to all parts of the world where the vaccine needs to be administered. The logistics and cold chain requirement in India far bigger than what our current vaccine program entails. We have a strong existing infrastructure but not strong enough for a rollout at this scale. Therefore, okay, let's assume that the vaccine is safe in these clinical trials. What's the guarantee in a country like India where the vaccine is being moved from, say, Delhi or Mumbai to some small town in West Bengal or Bihar, that it stays safe till the time it is administered in terms of the number of days between its landing in India, its manufacturing and the actual inoculation, and whether the level of refrigeration required in that period is actually maintained? Dr. Sarin.
I would just like to add one or 2 points to what Dr. Jamil said and Dr. Bhargav asked. mRNA is a messenger RNA. It is just a protein messenger. This message of the virus is taken into a lipid droplet and it goes into your body. The lipid gets into the cell and disappears. And just the messenger for making that protein is there. There is no gene. So first and foremost, the Pfizer or the mRNA vaccine is not transferring a gene. It will only produce nothing else but a spike protein. And if spike protein is produced in your cell, the body will say, oh, there is a protein, let us make an antibody. That is the only thing. Therefore, I would like to give the trust and assurance as a science person that a mRNA vaccine using simply a nanoparticle of lipid is safe. The second part is the efficacy and effectiveness. The efficacy is where you make antibodies. Effectiveness is where you decrease the infection, you decrease deaths, you decrease ICUs. We only have data today of efficacy of antibodies. Third part is the reactogenicity. The vaccine, when you give, it gives a reaction. The reaction can be local or it can be systemic. So just to give you an idea, people will have fever, cough, that is systemic. But if you have redness, that is local. We have enough data today, and in fact New England Journal published just yesterday on the Pfizer's phase 2 and 3, and it says it is fairly good. You just have fever. Elderly people have less side effects than the younger people. The COVID vaccine, the one which we have in India from Serum Institute, is fairly good. The data was published 2 days ago. Its reactogenicity, its safety and efficacy have been fairly well proven. So that brings one part of your discussion that yes, the last 3 days data gives me an assurance, and if you ask me, I'll put out my arm to get the jab. Now, the cold chain and the way logistics are, I think these are huge challenges. Pfizer vaccine now can be taken into by cold storage at -70, but you can take it out for 5 days and keep it into a refrigerator, and you can use batches of 950 odd people at a given go. I don't think that's a huge problem. However, the cost and the logistic of getting it from US and India will get it. But I'm sure Pfizer will help India to make its own vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine can be made. Now the Indian vaccine and the Russian, the Sputnik, both can be very useful. They can be at a lower, much higher temperature like in 228 or -4. I think they can be very suitable. Now all the trials are using the best practices, but that is not what point of care when the vaccine is given. So I am really, and I share your concern, despite best efforts anywhere in the world to have the vaccine properly stored, delivered and given is a huge challenge. And I therefore feel we have to learn from our experiences. But India is ready. We have the cold chains. We have done all the vaccines. And I can also tell you one more example. When hepatitis B vaccine, on which I worked, when it came, early fear was we can't maintain a cold chain. India maintained cold chain. The vaccine is given effectively. So therefore, I have no doubt in my mind, but yes, safety is above efficacy, it is above effectiveness.